Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Fabrizo Romano reveals the 3 midfielders that Manchester United want to sign. That's Ruben Navas, Saul Niguez and Eduardo Camavinga. Manchester United have just under a week to get that final signing on the board. Now, there was narratives coming out regarding Saul Niguez yesterday, saying that Man United were leading Chelsea in the race to sign Niguez. And it said Saul Niguez is set to complete an imminent transfer to Man United. And Romano said that Saul Niguez transfer is on. The Manchester Evening News said that Man United are unlikely to make a move for Niguez. We have to offload some players first. Man United could be set to hijack Chelsea's bid to sign Niguez. Chelsea have already put an offer on the table for Niguez. It's an initial loan with an option to buy next summer. Chelsea is the more likely destination for Niguez than Manchester United. The AS said that Niguez is on the verge of leaving Atletico Madrid. It said yesterday that Man United will bring in Niguez on an initial loan deal. The loan deal will include an option to buy or maybe even an obligation to buy. Obviously Man United will pay a loan fee and will pay the midfielders full wages for the entire season. Niguez is valued at £38 million. Now, before the start of the season, it said that Man United had made contact with the agents of Saul Niguez. And he said his agents were due in England for talks with Man United and Liverpool. Niguez has a gentleman's agreement in place with Atletico Madrid that allows him to leave. If Niguez comes to the Premier League, he will exceed expectations. And if he came to Man United, I think he'd fit in our team perfectly. He's been at Atletico Madrid for 13 years, so he's been a long-serving player. He's made over 300 appearances in all competitions. Over 200 appearances have come in La Liga. He has a £128 million release clause. He's got a contract with Atletico Madrid until 2026 because back in 2017 he signed a 9-year contract. He can be deployed as a central midfielder or a defensive midfielder. Now, you know the news on Eduardo Camavinga. Eduardo Camavinga to Manchester United is possible. Reports from France said that Camavinga is set to leave Rennes before the transfer window closes. Camavinga has made Rennes supporters aware that he played his final game for the club. Rennes are prepared to sell Camavinga for 30 million. The other week, Camavinga's agent, Jonathan Barnett, said that Camavinga was in no hurry to decide his future. Fabrizo Romano has spoken a lot about the Camavinga transfer saga. He said the other week that Camavinga has 2 options this summer, including Man United. But he said Man United and PSG were yet to make any offers. Camavinga's current contract at Rennes expires next year. And Ruben Navas, I'd love him to come to Manchester United. You know, Ruben Navas has got a lot of development in him. His performances for Wolves have been fantastic, and if he came to Man United, I'd be convinced he'd replicate at Man United what he's done with Wolves. And he's well proven in the Premier League. Bruno Lage wants to keep Ruben Neves, but he did say every player has a price. Wolves want 40 million if they are to offload Ruben Neves. It says Man United are unwilling to pay 40 million for Neves. We are eyeing a cut price deal. Earlier on this summer, Ruben Neves hinted that he'd made a decision on his future. He called any talks of a transfer away. He said he's very happy at Wolves and he did reveal his excitement of working alongside Bruno Lage. Earlier on this summer it said Man United were leading Arsenal in the race to sign Ruben Neves. Wolves got Ruben Neves from Porto back in 2017. Wolves got him for 15.8 million. He's got a contract with Wolves until 2024. Man United have also been in for Declan Rice from West Ham. Declan Rice has rejected 3 contract offers at West Ham, and Declan Rice is unhappy with West Ham's 100 million price tag. He's planning to run down his contract. Declan Rice has 3 years left on his contract at West Ham. Man United need to sell to buy. We have not sold one single player in this summer transfer window. We've loaned quite a few players out. We recently loaned Brandon Williams out to Norwich. We loaned Andres Pereira out to Flamengo. We loaned Ethan Laird out to Swansea. We loaned Axel Tuanzebe out to Aston Villa. We loaned Facundo Pellistri out. And we also loaned Tahith Chon out to Birmingham. Before the game against Southampton, Solskjaer confirmed that Jimmy Garner's going to be going out on loan. I'm expecting us to loan Amad Diallo out because Fabrizio Romano did say that Amad Diallo is still expected to leave Man United on loan. He mentioned that Crystal Palace have asked for him, so too have Sheffield United. He's only interested in Premier League clubs. Atlanta want to re-sign Amad Diallo on loan. Before the Southampton game, Solskjaer said he expects Amad Diallo to stay at Man United this season. Solskjaer did reveal he was impressed with Amad Diallo in training. We got Amad Diallo from Atlanta back in January. We got him in a deal worth £37 million. We paid £19 million up front. I've already gone through with you the players that I think should leave Man United. You know, I think we need to offload Jones, but we're not going to in this summer transfer window. I want us to offload Diego Dalot. I want us to offload Matic, but we won't be offloading Matic in this summer transfer window. I want us to offload Fred, but he won't be leaving yet. I'd like us to offload Victor Lindelof. Van der Beek should go because he isn't getting enough game time at Man United. It did recently say that Man United are ready to let go of Van der Beek and Lindelof to make way for more signings. I think we definitely need to offload Jesse Lingard. Whether he leaves in his summer transfer window or not, I do not know. And I'd also like us to offload Anthony Martial, but that isn't going to happen in this summer transfer window. I presume we're going to offload players in January next year, and we're going to offload more players next summer. Solskjaer has already confirmed that he wants to make one more signing in this summer transfer window. But it recently said from the Manchester Evening News that Man United are unlikely to make any more signings before this transfer window closes. We've made 3 signings in this summer transfer window. We brought Tom Heaton in on a free from Aston Villa, brought Jadon Sancho in from Borussia Dortmund, and we brought Raphael Varane in from Real Madrid. We've spent like £113 million. Solskjaer has been pleased with our summer transfer business. He mentioned that earlier on in the summer. And Solskjaer has received the backing he deserves. You know, Ollie wasn't backed enough for such a long time. You know, we have got a very, very good squad now. You know, especially with Varane and Sancho coming in. I thought we had a decent squad before they came in. But obviously it's even better now. And if we can get that final signing, then the squad will be even better. So we've got Raphael Varane, you know, very, very good centre-half. Has not yet made his debut for Man United. I can't understand why he didn't play any part against Southampton last weekend. Like I said on the Wolves Man United preview, I'm expecting Varane to start against Wolves this Sunday. Varane to Man United was official just before kick-off against Leeds on the opening day. We got Varane in a deal worth £43 million with add-ons included. We paid like £34 million up front. Varane signed a 4-year contract with Man United. Obviously there's an option of a further year. Obviously Varane is wearing that number 19 shirt. But like I say, I think he'll do well at Man United. He's regarded as one of the best centre-halves in the world. He'll complement Harry Maguire very well in our back line. He's highly experienced and he's got a fantastic pedigree as a player because Varane won a lot of trophies when he was at Real Madrid. Jadon Sancho, he's a good player, did well in his 4 years he had with Dortmund. I think he'll do well at Man United, providing that Solskjaer uses him right. Sancho came on last week against Southampton, but I can't understand why he didn't start Sancho. So Sancho should be making his first league start for Man United on Sunday against Wolves. Sancho to Man United was confirmed on the 23rd of July. We got Sancho in a deal worth £78 million with add-ons included. Sancho's under contract with Man United until June 2026. There's an option of a further year. Tom Heaton, he's a decent goalkeeper. Obviously he's a backup goalkeeper. To Tom Heaton's credit, he did well throughout pre-season. Yeah, we did bring him in on a free. He's got a contract with Man United till 2023 with an option of a further year. You know, I think Dean Henderson, he's a good goalkeeper. Obviously, he has been unavailable because he's been recovering from COVID. It shouldn't be too long now until he's back. Dean Henderson did well in a lot of the games he was in goal for last season. Henderson kept a lot of clean sheets. His distribution was good. He had some poor games last season. He weren't great in the 3-1 win against Burnley. And he was poor in the 4-2 defeat to Liverpool towards the end of last season. He made some mistakes in that game. Henderson has got that experience behind him though. He endured 2 successful loans with Sheffield. He's also had other loan spells before. I still highly rate David De Gea, despite him making quite a lot of mistakes in the last couple of years. De Gea obviously was in goal for the game against Southampton last weekend. Didn't really have much to do, made a couple of good saves to deny Adam Armstrong and James Ward-Prowse from that free kick. Couldn't do anything about Fred's own goal, and De Gea was obviously in goal for the opening game against Leeds. Didn't really have much to do in that game, but he made a couple of saves to deny Click and Jack Harrison. We know De Gea is staying at Manchester United for this season because earlier on in the summer, De Gea decided to cut short his holiday by 2 weeks to fight for the starting place, and De Gea said he was determined to fight for his future. He did say earlier on in the summer that De Gea could have been loaned out this season to make more room in the goalkeeping department. A few years ago, De Gea was regarded as the best goalkeeper in the world. He has won everything domestically at the football club and he's made over 500 appearances for Man United in all competitions. De Gea has been long serving. He's endured 10 years at the club. He's been with us since the Ferguson era. This is his 11th season. De Gea's got like 2 years left on his contract and he's on £375,000 a week. Luke Shaw, he's very, very good. I'm expecting Luke Shaw to enjoy a good season. I thought Shaw was pretty good against Southampton. And he was also good against Leeds on the opening day. He was superb last season. Luke Shaw has been our first choice left back for a while. He still remains our first choice left back despite the arrival of Alex Telles last year. Shaw's been at Manchester United for 7 years, so he's been a long-serving player. And I reckon he's had a good career at Man United despite his injuries. I think we're in the process of extending Luke Shaw's contract. I think Eric Bailly, he's a decent centre-half, but my element of concern about Eric Bailly is injury prone, so in that aspect he is a liability. Towards the end of last season, Bailly signed a new contract with Man United until 2024. There's an option of a further year. Bailly's future is obviously in doubt following the arrival of Raphael Varane, but like I said, I reckon we need to keep Eric Bailly as a backup, so if Varane or Harry Maguire get injured, then Bailly is the plan B. Lindelof's obviously a backup in that as well, but I certainly prefer Bailly ahead of Lindelof. We got Bailly from Villarreal back in 2016 for £30 million. We brought him in under the Jose Mourinho era. Bailly's been out recently. Is it due to personal reasons? Harry Maguire, I think he's a decent centre-half. Weren't great though against Southampton, but he put a good performance out against Leeds on the opening day. I'm expecting us to get the best out of Maguire now, with obviously Varane alongside him. Maguire was a big miss for us towards the end of last season because he had ligament damage in his ankle. We overpaid for Harry Maguire. We got him in a deal worth £80 million from Leicester. He's the most expensive centre-half in the world at the moment and the second most expensive signing at the club. And Wan-Bissaka, he's obviously a very, very good right back. He's one of the best right backs we've had since Gary Neville. Defensively, he's always been superb. There's still aspects of Wan-Bissaka's game that's got to improve. He's got to show more attacking intent. Maybe his crossing needs to improve as well. Maybe needs to provide more width. He played against Southampton last weekend, Bissaka, and I thought he was very, very poor. You know, his positioning was quite poor, didn't get forward enough, and his passing was poor. This is Wan-Bissaka's third full season at Man United. We got Wan-Bissaka in a deal worth 50 million from Crystal Palace back in the summer of 2019. Paul Pogba, he's very good. He's enjoyed a very good start to this season. You know, he's already got 5 assists, and we've only played 2 games. You know, he got the assist for Greenwood's goal against Southampton, and he got 4 assists on the opening day against Leeds. Before the Southampton game, Solskjaer said that Man United are in ongoing talks with Pogba's representatives to persuade Pogba to sign a new contract. Solskjaer did mention that he's not worried about Pogba's contract situation. Pogba's current contract at Man United expires next summer. The Athletic recently said that Man United is set to make Pogba the highest paid player at the club with a new 5-year contract worth £400,000 a week. Pogba receives £290,000 at the moment on his current contract. Man United recently gave an update on Paul Pogba's future, and Solskjaer expects Pogba to still be a United player when the transfer window closes at the end of this month. Now, Sky Sports recently said that Pogba is very likely to leave Man United on a free next summer when his contract expires, and it said he's set to join PSG on a 3. PSG are pushing to sign Pogba next summer, and it says PSG are prepared to offer Paul Pogba £510,000 a week in wages to prize him away from Man United. PSG getting Pogba in this summer transfer window hit a stumbling block as PSG got Lionel Messi. Before the start of the season, it said Pogba sees a long-term future at Man United but may wait on the contract extension. Before the start of the season, Pogba rejected a new contract at Man United, and Sky Sports said that Pogba was increasingly unlikely to sign a new Man United contract. Before the start of the season as well, Solskjaer revealed that he had positive talks with Pogba over his future. And he said Pogba was in no hurry to sort out his future, and the Telegraph said Pogba would start the season with Man United, then he'd make a decision about his future before the 31st of August. Scott McTominay, he's a decent player. He certainly needs more time at Man United. He's been part of the club for a long time as it stands. Can McTominay emulate that level where we want him to be at? Just after the first lockdown last year, McTominay signed a 5-year contract with Man United. McTominay is actually out at the moment with a knock. Bruno Fernandes, obviously, he's our best player, and he's probably the best signing we have made since Ferguson retired. Bruno Fernandes got his first Man United hat-trick in the opening day against Leeds. Analysing the vast majority of Bruno Fernandes' games, he's been very, very consistent. But there's been a few games where he's looked off the pace. He weren't great against Southampton last weekend. Fernandes does not want to leave the club. He's happy to stay at Old Trafford as contract talks go on. Fernandes is under contract with Man United till 2025. There's an option of a further year. Fernandes receives £100,000 a week at the moment. If he gets a new deal, it could see him earn between £250,000 to £300,000 a week. Bruno Fernandes has been at Man United over a year and a half now. He won Player of the Year last season, and he's won Player of the Month quite a few times, reflecting on his good performances. We brought Bruno Fernandes in back in January 2020 from Sporting Lisbon. He predominantly plays as number 10. Donny van de Beek's a good player, but I haven't really had much of a perception on him at Man United because he doesn't get enough game time. You know, this season's Donny van de Beek's second full season. Last season, Van de Beek made 36 appearances in all competitions for Man United, but most of them appearances came from the bench. He only started, 4 games in the league last season. Van de Beek was a very good player at Ajax. We got him in a deal worth 40 million from Ajax, with add-ons included, and he's got a contract with Man United until 2025. And he's versatile, he can play in 3 different roles. Mason Greenwood, very good, been an absolute revelation since he broke into our senior squad. At one point though, he did go a long period without scoring. Greenwood got our equalising goal last weekend against Southampton, and he also scored in the opening game against Leeds. Greenwood should have had a couple of more goals against Leeds because he had 2 good early chances, and one came from a mistake from Leeds. Greenwood made his senior debut for Man United back in 2019. He's been a United player since the age of 7, so he's been part of the club for a long time, and last season Greenwood signed a new 4-year contract with the club. Edison Cavani, you know, he's made an impact since he's come in. I'm glad he's staying for this season, but after this season Edison Cavani's going to be leaving. So this is why we're planning to get a striker in next summer. Marcus Rashford's good when he wants to be, but Rashford has endured his bad periods at Man United. He really has. He was out of form towards the end of last season. And Rashford's become injury prone as well, that's my other concern. Rashford's out with a shoulder injury, it says until October. Earlier on this summer, Rashford decided to have surgery on his shoulder. That Alanga looks a good asset for the first team squad. He put a good performance out in pre-season. Did well in the final game against Wolves last season, scored. And I said Amad Diallo looks a good asset for the first team squad. He hasn't played that much for the first team, no. We need to loan him out to obviously gain him more experience and to get him a lot more opportunities. So yeah, it's a decent squad we've got. There's obviously certain players at Man United that aren't good enough to represent the club. Fred's not good enough. Matic isn't good enough. Lindelof isn't good enough. Jones isn't good enough. Martial isn't good enough. So there you go. So anyway guys, that's everything to update you for today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always. And take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.